afternoon, everybody. Today is March the 26th. It's Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time. So welcome to today's webinar. As you can see up on the screen, we are going to go over how ABS helps you get clients. If there is a number one question, this is probably one of the biggest questions that we ever get is, how do we help you get clients, or how do you get clients? So hopefully that question is going to get answered today. So again, just welcome this afternoon. Take some notes. We'll show you here in just a little bit how to ask some questions throughout the webinar. But if this is your first time to join us this afternoon, I want to introduce myself. My name's Eric OGEA. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and certainly want to welcome you here this afternoon. What we're going to do today is really help you understand about how to get your clients. But before that even happens, we want to make sure that you can hear us. So if you don't mind, you'll notice up in the right-hand corner of your little screen there, there's a picture of a hand there. So if you'll start clicking on that hand, if not, we want you to dial into this phone number here. So, okay, I can see Benji's hand go up. Brian, Hugh, good to have you here. Pray Tap, there you go. Rod, good to have you. Tyrell, let's see who else we have here. Antonio, you're there. Cindy, good to have everyone here this afternoon. It looks like everybody can hear me just fine. So let's move on through these next few slides here as we get started here this afternoon. Again, there's that little hand right there that we've asked you just to click on, just to make sure that you can hear us this afternoon. Well, here at American Business Systems, a lot of people ask us, what do I get when I become a licensee? Well, everything you see here on the screen, all these different services, iClaim, EMRX, Audit Guard, CodeWrite, and certainly we can explain a lot more of that in detail when we got you on the phone. You're talking to one of your ABS reps. But again, we just want to introduce you to who we are. Well, we're a company that's been around for 20 years, helping folks just like yourself being able to work right from home and be like these people here on the screen that just happy people to work together with their families, to actually stay in their homes if they want to, or they can grow their business as large as you want to. Mr. Phillips and his family are all part of this business, so we want you to join our family here again at American Business Systems. Our system, a lot of people ask us what makes us different. Well, it is the system that you see up on the screen. It is a web-based system, and it can be on multi-platforms, whether it's a PC or a Mac or an iPad or some type of tablet there, for you to get through there on our platform there, our medical billing platform. If you haven't been out to our website's absystems.com. You can certainly see that right there at the very bottom. So we want you to come out there and look through our website. We'll point you in some more directions here in just a little bit to show you some different things about our website. But once you get into our website, or hit that orange button there where it says request more information, folks, this is where you're really going to get into a lot of information through our virtual brochure. There are several sections in here, and in those sections there are subsections that you can go through. So we want you to take the time to go through each one of these, of the opportunity, and the one that we're going to be talking about today, getting clients. Or if you want to know a little bit about training or support or the technology. And when you're ready to move forward, that final steps is that last one that you want to be able to take a look at. That's where the purchase agreement and all the other information is that you need to become an ABS licensee. A lot of people ask us about the Better Business Bureau. So if you want to go out there and check us out, check out the Better Business Bureau of Fort Worth. We still and maintain an A+ rating there with them. So if you're looking for any credibility, that's certainly one of those places you can go to at the Better Business Bureau. Also, a lot of people take us up on the offer about coming out and visiting us here in the Fort Worth area. Now, we're in a little community just north of Fort Worth, so you need to fly into the DFW airport. We'll make some arrangements to come pick you up, or if you're in the area within driving distance, just drive up here. Here's our address, 5751 Kroger Drive. We'd love to have you here. Visit with us. As a matter of fact, I think we've got some folks showing up next week. So listen, just whenever you're ready to come on board, you want to come talk with us, please schedule a visit with us. Our training is about a week and a half away for the April training. Now, folks, we are already through the first quarter of this year. It's amazing how time really does go quickly. Folks, this is a great training class that we've got going. There are very, very limited seats available here. I think we'll talk a little bit about the seats that are available for the April training. But write this date down, April the 7th through the 11th. It is not too late to get into this class. Again, like I said, we do have a few more seats left available. Now, one of the things on our website that's very interesting, and we've failed to show this a lot, but we want you to go out and meet the team. Everybody from Patrick Phillips to his wife Linda to his son Adam, who's the president of our company, and then the rest of the team. You'll find out that there are more than just Patrick and me that's here at American Business Systems. So we want you to go out there and visit us. We've got doctors who are part of our advisory board that you can go read upon. So go out there and meet the team. But talking about meeting Patrick Phillips, here he is. We want you just to let me get you introduced to him. He is not only the founder of American Business Systems, he's also the CEO, and he's also an author, a very well published author here. One to your left that's called How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, and the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow book that he co-wrote with a CPA individual of his that he knows quite well. So those two books right there are tremendous. But not only is he a book author, he is an author and a writer for one of the biggest billing magazines that's here in the country, in the USA, the BC Advantage, it's Billing and Coding Advantage. Now, this is his latest article that just came out. It's for the April-May 2014 edition. How the Affordable Care Act will help your billing business thrive. And a lot of people ask about Obamacare and everything about it, the Affordable Care Act. So we can certainly show you a link how to get to there. But listen, folks, without any further ado, let me bring Patrick on here. Patrick, it's good to have you on this afternoon, and let's get this thing kicked off about how we're going to help folks like those people on the call today, how to get clients.
Man, there's a couple of two good-looking guys there on that screen, Eric. It's amazing what Photoshop will do for you, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's talk real quickly, Patrick, about the control panel and how people can ask us questions here today.
Yeah, if you look on that GoToWebinar control panel, you should see a little box down there. You may have to click on that little arrow to the left of the questions word there, but it'll open up a box where you can type in your question, and we monitor that during the webinar here. You'll see us live looking over to the side here. We're actually looking at the questions that are coming in, so we'll see any comments or questions you put. Don't use the chat box if there's one there, because we don't pay any attention to that one, but we do the questions, and if they're pertinent to what we're talking about, we'll try to work those into the webinar throughout the whole webinar.
That's right. So, folks, again, be sure to take some time and ask some questions right throughout the presentation here all afternoon. So let's go ahead and get started here, and let's start talking about how ABS helps you get clients. So, Patrick, why don't you just, I know this is one of the biggest questions that you probably have gotten through the 20 years. I know it's a big question that we get here all the time. So why don't you just kind of start opening up and talk to folks about getting clients here at ABS?
Yeah, Eric, you're right. This is the question we get probably the most. I know you and some of the other business coaches here at ABS get this question a lot because, let's face it, this is the biggest fear in getting any business started. You can start any business out there that you find in a magazine or on some websites, and if you don't have clients, you don't really have a business. You're not in business until you get clients. I tell people, you're not in business until you get the check from the first client, right, and then the check clears. So this is a big deal for a lot of people. And of course, because they think that it's impossible to get in to see a doctor about things that have to do with their business, their practice, and the cash flow, that it would be hard to get a client. Well, we're not saying that it's easy, folks. We're just saying that over the last 20 years, we figured it out. We know how to get the clients for our licensees. And so we do everything and provide you every tool that you possibly can use to get those clients, including all sorts of professionally designed websites, marketing materials, and so forth. But Eric has kind of boiled it down here today. Eric, I like the way you did this because this zeroes right in on the things that are really, really the most important, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've just kind of broken it down into what we consider just three major categories here about how we help you get clients. First of all, there is the week of training. There is no doubt that without that week of training, Patrick, there would just really not be a whole lot of foundation on anything. So we do take you through a week of training. Although you're going to get some hands-on during that training week, you'll even hear from possibly a licensee today of what goes on in that training because most of it is how to get clients. That's what we want to focus with you on.
Yeah,
In
I would
that
say,
training,
Eric,
oh, go ahead.
if I had to guess, I mean, just estimate. I know we've redone the agenda over the past. Well, we constantly redo the agenda. Let's face it. I'm not ever happy with exactly the way it's being done. I want it always to be just a little bit better every time. So we've been tweaking that, and with your help and your input, Eric, what would you say we're up to now? The marketing side of the training is probably half of the class.
Oh, at least, if not a little bit more. I kind of take look at everything as being prepared for marketing from the day one that we put people on the computer system
Yeah.
to show them. But truly, we build upon precept upon precept of getting folks in front of folks, doctors and office managers, and getting them prepared to get those clients. And one of the biggest tools that we show is this practice analysis. And again, we're going to kind of dissect that down a little bit. And then, Patrick, one of the best things I think we've ever added to helping our licensees is what we see there at the bottom, the demos.
Absolutely.
Why don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Before we go on, Eric, let me just say this about the training because people are always wondering how in the world in 1 week could you learn everything there is to know about medical billing and coding. Well, the fact is you can't, folks. We tell people, look, we're going to give you everything you need to get your business started, and I mean it's enough to where some people go out the very following week or in the first 30 days at least and get their first client. We've had licensees in the next week get a client.
right.
So it's not like we can cover every single detail because there's lots to know about this business. But the nice thing, Eric, is that they don't really need to know as much as they think they do if they've been out on the internet, huh?
Right. And Patrick, I think one little caution we can give folks here is because I know that we all sort of kind of get this question here, and I can understand that people are a little bit antsy about, moving forward, but they want to kind of do a little bit of pre-marketing. And I've kind of put this up here on this next screen here about what happens whenever people go out there and say, hey, doc, do you need some billing help?
Yeah, that's the question that they think they should ask when they go in. I did, Eric, when my wife Linda and I started doing medical billing out of our home here in Fort Worth back in 1987. That's about all we knew back then is to say to the doctor, look, I've just started a new medical billing company and I work out of my spare bedroom in my pajamas and we didn't say that, but it kind of came across that way because we didn't know how to position ourselves as part of something that's much larger, which now of course we teach licensees to position themselves as a part of our network. We're the
Right.
nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies out there. We do thousands of claims for hundreds of doctors every day. Now you see
Right.
if you use the corporate we as a part of our network and say it the way I just said it, you can position yourself as much larger. But they still don't want to just. I mean, again, if you ask this question, do you need some billing help? The answer, like this doc is saying, no, no, we don't need any, thanks. You know why?
Yeah.
Because well, they're either doing it themselves with their own staff using software in their own office, or they've already decided that it's best to outsource the billing to a billing company. So
Well,
how are we helping doctors to get convinced that they should sign up with our licensees? That's the real
Well, I
question.
think, yeah, before we just leave this, I think the question is how it's positioned because uh, the doctors probably don't like their billing already. That's the big thing. And so why would they want anything that's looking the same? And so it's what we do here in training, Patrick. And let's kind of take a little bit of uh, dialogue going here about training. And let's just face it. I think a lot of people would think, Patrick, you're just going to, you know, this is somewhat of a rah-rah session during these trainings. I know a lot of people have been to other types of training, corporate trainings, and maybe even some other franchise or other business opportunity trainings. But let's kind of talk about what's really different about our training here at ABS.
Well, first of all, it is no rah rah there. I mean, I'm good at rah rah. If you want some rah rah, I can give it to you. But I don't. We don't do that. That's why I don't do most of the training. I do a couple of sessions during the week is all. I show up and give some inspiration here and there just from some things that we are talking about. But it's all about the data. People want lots of information during this week. So as you can see, Eric is a part of the training class. We also bring in a licensee, someone like yourself who's already been through the training, been out there, got their clients, built a successful medical billing business, are working it full time, and we pay them for that week to come down and train you. So you're not learning. This is not book learning, is it, Eric?
No. I mean, as you can see here, we've got this is a couple of licensees that have been to a previous class, and they're going through, here talking about deductibles, and you can see here. So we're really getting involved in what's going on here in these classes. And then, again, as you can see, there's a lot of interaction about what to do and really how to go get those clients here. So you're right, Patrick. I think the combination of what we could say ABS corporate, and then what we have in as a licensee that actually comes in presents a great balance between what we know, what they got to know, and then what the licensee that comes in says, yes, we've taken all of that. This is how it's actually applied.
Yeah, so there are a lot of breakouts like you see here where one-on-one with your partner or somebody in the class, we partner you up with somebody, different people throughout the week, and you get to work through. This is the best way for adults to learn, right? You get the information and then you learn how to apply it. So it's this is a true workshop, guys. This is not just lecture. The biggest surprise to most people, Eric, is at the end of the week they go, I didn't fall asleep. You
Right.
know, it was that interesting. And folks, you will not fall asleep. You won't even get drowsy because we give you enough information, and it's always changing, constantly new stuff throughout the day that it keeps you engaged. They're going through an exercise right here, for example, that will teach you how to present your services to your warm market. That is your own people that friends, relatives, people at church, people in business with you. So that you can find out from them if they have some contacts in the medical field. That's one of
Right.
the secrets of getting involved immediately in your community is letting people know what you do. So we have a little flip chart that they're going through, although it's also provided to you electronically as a PowerPoint that you can put on your iPad or your laptop or something. And you can present this to them in about what, Eric? 15 minutes is all. And they
Right.
know exactly what you do.
And I think, a lot of people ask about, they've maybe seen some of our blogs that Adam puts together after a training or those videos, and we've got a lot of people that are excited. And again, I think why they're excited is not so much because we built them up or given them a rah-rah session, as I've said, but I think they get a takeaway of going, wow, I can actually do this. That's the excitement that people actually have. So, whether you've been in marketing before or not, this is the type of training that we deliver. And it's because of what we're delivering. We're teaching and training folks, Patrick, how to be a revenue cycle specialist, not just a medical billing company. Why don't you explain a little bit about what we're talking about, revenue cycle specialist?
Yeah, inside of a doctor's office, the way they look at it is that they get revenue from several sources, right? It's a cycle that they have to bill for the insurance company to get that money, as this chart illustrates here. So they have a cycle that you deal with, and that's why we call you a revenue cycle specialist. We're going to teach you all of the six parts of this cycle so that you know exactly what to talk to the doctor intelligently about to get
Right.
right to the bottom line. Folks, here's the bottom line. They're interested in how they can build their revenue, maintain their revenue so that they can pay their employees, so they can grow their practice, so they can buy new equipment and invest in their practice. Their practice is a business. And bottom line, they've got to make a profit. Well, guess what? Some of them are not making much profit right now. They're being squeezed by Medicare with less payments to them. They're being squeezed by the insurance companies. And now there's the Affordable Care Act, which is bringing in all these new patients that may or may not have coverage. So sometimes they see patients, Eric, and don't even get paid on them. So we're
Right.
there to help. We're the solution to their pain. And that's what we teach you about during the week.
And that's what we're presenting to you because again, here's where it gets down to because we're going to make a transition from this whole training block, this 5 days of live training, and then basically what a licensee's takeaway is, and their biggest takeaway is this other big tool here. What we talk about is about the practice analysis because again, a lot of people feel a little uncomfortable, Patrick, of just walking to a doctor's office and again saying, "Hey, do you need any medical billing?"
Yeah, right.
Uh, let's dive into just a little bit of this practice analysis here. What makes this so different?
Well, first of all, the reason we tell people when they come to training, if they have any sales background, they have to forget it, is because there's no selling to this, folks. What this is a consultancy type situation where you are going into the doctor and asking the doctor a number of questions to find out whether or not they have pain in the revenue cycle that you have the solution to. If they don't have any pain, guess what? You don't have a solution. Now, Eric, I don't know how many times that's happened to you, but it's not a whole lot of times that we go in and don't find a lot of pain, huh?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then so folks, what you're seeing here on the screen here is just a basically sample of questionnaires that we've massaged and worked with our licensees that are out in the field and some of the questions, Patrick, that are just asked off of this is one of them is your current system a server based or a web based system? Why is that important?
Well, because what we want to know is, are they using the latest tools? Listen, when people say, what is your advantage in the marketplace? Well, one of the advantages, folks, is because we do have a web based system. It's what they refer to nowadays as cloud based, meaning there's no software that resides on your computer or on the doctor's computer. And yet you can both log in through any web browser to our billing system and see exactly the status of where their claims are. That's why we can reduce the rejection rate so drastically over what they probably now have. It's because of the leading edge technology that we have that's sending the data in real time across the internet. So if they have a server based system, that means they've taken a CD that they bought some software and they put it in their computer and load that software onto their hard disk. And there's where the problem begins, right there. It has all sorts of security issues, of course, and
Right.
you and the doctor can't see the same data at the same time. So with our system, you can give the doctor, his office manager, or anybody else in that office access to the system in real time. Meaning, if you were in their billing and you sent a claim, they could see it at the same moment that it happened from their computer, no matter where they're at. Not just their computer, but their iPad or their smartphone as well. So it's a huge advantage in the marketplace out there, guys, when you have a cloud-based system.
And a lot of people, Patrick, let's just real quick before we go to the next question here, they're going to say, well, don't doctors already have a system? Folks, if you hear that a doctor has a server-based system, you're really in a good position at that point because what you don't know back behind the scenes is that the doctor has to maintain that. So that means they have to hire an IT expert back behind there. They got to make sure that they're keeping up with all the different versions, and then they have to keep up with all the different codes. That gets eliminated when you move to a web-based system. Now, another question that gets asked on that is, oh, did you? There we go.
Sorry.
That's all
Working
right.
towards it.
It basically is how many claims are done in a month's time. That certainly is important for you as you're building this whole practice analysis. And another question here uh, might be that you're going to ask is, let's see if we can get that one to come up there. Yeah, what are you currently spending on billing? And we got to break that down into all the people that actually touch a claim, Patrick, and that can get pretty expensive. And but there are other questions there that you will learn in the training class again to position you as a revenue cycle specialist. Now you'll hear here in just a moment here from one of our licensees that we've actually invited here this afternoon, kind of talk about this whole practice analysis and what was learned in training, how this practice analysis was used, and then finally, Patrick, is this one. Again, if there is something that this is one of those intangible areas of our business that it's hard to put a price tag on. This is let's talk a little bit about the live demos.
Can I go back just one slide to tell?
Oh, sure.
I just wanted to mention something here, Eric, about this practice analysis. Guys, we've spent, the last 20 years perfecting this. As you saw on the previous slide, there was about 2 pages. I think we're into 3 pages now, Eric. And of
Right.
course, this is a document that you can change any way you want to. You could take some questions out, you could add your own questions, but we give you what our 20 years of experience has found are the questions that you need to be asking the doctor. The great thing is that during that week of training, we take you through that and hand hold you through every single question. We will cover the question, we'll explain it, we'll let you ask questions about the question, we'll tell you the answers that you're most apt to hear and why we ask those questions. So it's a very in-depth study that, guys, there are companies that are out there that charge $500 to do something
Right.
like this because we're analyzing the doctor's practice. And then when you get through with that practice analysis, you're going to go back to your office, put it into some other software that we give you that will actually prepare a report. And we have proposals, templates of proposals that you can create to give the doctor an idea as to how you can solve those problems. So it's a complete presentation from a consulting standpoint. Now, at the end of this questions, if for some reason you determine that there just is no need for any of the things that you could provide them, of course you can tell them that right then. But most of the time you say, I'm going to go back to my office, I'm going to run this through some software that will prepare a report, and I'll be bringing that back to you. So that's the way it's presented. I just wanted to kind of
Yeah, no,
make
that's
sure
great
how
because
that works.
again, whenever we get into the training class, this is just one of those elements, but it's one of these elements that again that's so important into your business again of truly making you successful. Because again, Patrick, again, we could teach people all day long how to do medical billing. There's no doubt we can do that.
Sure.
But if they don't have a client, that again is just as much as uh, someone going out there and getting a certificate or a degree in medical billing.
It's funny, Eric, because some people, the scariest part of this whole week is, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm not going to figure out how to use the software. Maybe I'll look stupid or it's not user friendly. We give people hands on experience on that for about a day and a half. By the
Right.
end of that time, we ask them if you'd like some more practice. We've got some after hour sessions you can participate in. Nobody ever comes to those because it's
Right.
not rocket science, it's not brain surgery. Excuse the pun.
Well, but again, but it's because I think the licensees at training now, sometimes even through the phone calls that we have now, getting this live demo thing wrapped around our head sometimes can be a little difficult. But it's this takeaway that they have at training where they go, "Wow, ABS is actually going to do every demo for me." That's again, if you want one done or you want 10 done, we will help you through those live demos. So
Now,
again,
Eric,
yep,
let me get just a little bit more basic there, even because I want to explain to people why you would be giving a demo of our technology to a doctor. First of all, doctors love to see new technology. They're always
right,
into this latest and greatest of everything that's out there from a medical standpoint. Well, this is not the clinical side of their practice, but it is a very practical side of their business. It's the money side, it's the business side. And so they like to see the demonstration of the system that you would be using to do their billing. Why? Because you're going to show them all kinds of features there during that demo that's going to get the doctor to say, wow. Isn't that what you hear most of the time, Eric? When you do a demo,
exactly.
it's like, this is unbelievable. They're always talking about the high tech, leading edge stuff that we have inside the system. This is a hook, we call it. That is, we're hooking the doctor with the technology to show them the advantages of outsourcing their billing to you as a medical biller. So that's what he's talking about here. Is you're seeing a diagram here, but basically it's you say at the top on your computer. Well, you're going to show that here in a second, I think, Eric.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. But again, it's more than just showing the technology side and hooking people. It's really truly showing those doctors of the cash value that we try to demonstrate back. Because again, Some people may be asking, well, if it's so easy and you show this to a doctor, why would a doctor just not want to do it on their own? That is a big question. And before I move to the next slide, I want you to answer that question.
Doctors could be cleaning their own office. That's pretty easy to do, isn't it? Sweeping and emptying trash. They don't do that, do they? They could also, if you think about it, Eric, they could use QuickBooks and keep their own books, but they don't. They outsource that, don't they?
Right.
If they're not too smart, they could handle their legal matters, but they don't. They outsource that. There's a lot that transcription. Most of them don't do
Right.
their own transcription, taking their notes, recorded notes, and having somebody type it in the office. They outsource that. So, folks, billing is just another one of those things that a doctor could do themselves. And yes, some of them do, but they don't realize that they're not as good at it as you're going to be. Look, they're doing the billing just for their own practice. You're going to be doing the billing for several practices. And so you get
Right.
really, really good at it, and you become the expert.
Well, folks, once you become a licensee and you've gone through training, the first place you're going to learn a lot of this is you're going to go to our licensee support site. Now, this is a secured area. It's a password protected. But once you get in as a licensee, first thing you're going to do to set up a demo, and again, we'll have someone talk about this in just a moment, is you're going to go to the licensee support site, put in your username and password, and then you will go to the next slide here, and you can see right there, you would go to that button right there where it says I claim, and you'll click on that, and that's going to take you right over to this section. Now this is for you as a licensee. You're going to request a free demo and consultation. And when we say consultation, we're not just doing a demo for the system. We are really working with you and your doctor. We answer all the questions, don't we, Patrick?
Yeah, that's the neat thing is that you don't have to say a thing. You can introduce everybody on the webinar. You'll be at your computer. The doctor is at their computer, and our people, of course, our demo people are actually on their computers, showing the demo and answering every question that the doctor might ask. So you never get caught. The questions are all answered by us, folks. I don't know of any other company in America that does something like this. This is very unusual. But since we've built our model on making money on all the transactions that go through the system, a few pennies on every claim, of course we're interested in making sure that you get the clients. So you win, the doctor wins, we win. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, so let's just again let's kind of demonstrate how this is going to look. We here at ABS will log in, we'll get everything set up on the iClaim side, and then we'll make sure that the two of us, you as the licensee and us at ABS. Now, you will know that we're with ABS, but the doctor will not know that we are ABS. The doctor's going to see you and us as all part of one team. So when we get ABS and you logged in, then we'll have the doctor logged in, and sometimes, Patrick, the licensee may be there at the doctor's office right there in front of them, trying to get everything set up, and they'll just introduce us and say, hey, this is Eric, or this is so-and-so with my support team, and they're going to be taking you through the demo today.
Yeah,
Nothing's
Eric.
ever said about ABS.
That's right. I was just thinking, Eric, maybe we change that illustration there in the future. Instead of ABS, it should say, my support technician.
Right.
That's what you're going to call us when you put us on the line. We're just your support technician. That's all.
That's it. And so basically what we've done in the last 30 minutes so far, Patrick, we've kind of talked people about the training, and then one of those key components of training is the whole part about the practice analysis, this live demo. Now, folks, if you're on here today and you'd like to see a live demo, just ask any of us here at ABS. We'll be happy to take you through a personal demo with just you so you can kind of understand it as well, even before you become a licensee. We'll be happy to do that. But again, one of the things that we want to do is talk about the experience. And the only way that we can do that is talk with someone who's just gone through that. So I don't know if we've got Chris on the line here with us. Chris, are you there? Maybe you can unmute yourself there. We'll kind of get you involved in the webinar this afternoon.
I am. Can you hear me?
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, guys. How are y'all?
All right. Hey, are you just on the phone or are you looking at a computer?
No, I'm sorry. I'm in the field. I'm on the phone, so
that's okay.
I'm listening intently.
Well, we got a picture of you and me on the screen there. Yeah.
Okay. I've lost a few pounds since then, so
Oh, good. Well, so have I. At
And
least I
that's
tell
just
my
been
wife
since
that.
December.
Yeah. And this was back when, Chris, you went through training just in last December, didn't you?
In December, yes, I have, and my, so much has changed, and for the better. I have to tell you, so thankful.
That is great. Well, Chris, what we wanted you to do is kind of share. We got a few questions here we can ask you about your experience with going out and getting your first client. Can you give us a little feel for how you got your first client, where you met them, and what type of client they are?
Well, yeah, sure. Mine, I guess I'd say it's a little different. When I went actually through the training, I think that first day, well, actually before the training, I think Mr. Eric OGEA we did a practice analysis, and then Eric did a demo for me for a doctor, even before I came to training.
Oh, I
So
didn't
I kind
realize
of had
that.
my
Cool.
yeah, I basically hit the ground running. Just had a game plan, and actually when I left training, uh, uh, I had it took me about a week to really get the sales reps that were going to help me with this. Then I actually had kind of worked on that a little bit, and then I got the first demo set. I think it was that second week in Wisconsin, even though I'm in Conway, Arkansas, but I basically just hit the ground running, and here it was that we've got we did a couple of demos for that particular. It was a medical plaza there, and I got to say that basically what happened was and I'll go ahead and share this here again. Eric bailed me out, but Eric did a demo for this client. It was a last minute deal, and Eric performed well, and I landed the account. So that was, like I said, in Wisconsin. We've done demos in Atlanta, New Jersey, Las Vegas, California, and I just got out of class in December. So I have nothing but positive things, and as far as my doctors, I guess to answer your question, the doctors have been truly amazed at the technology. They're coming in. We're coming in as the experts. Now, mind you, I just left class in December. I'm no expert. The folks at ABS have definitely helped me, and when we're on that one-on-one on that conference call, and folks, all this has been conference calls. So while we're on these calls, the team has been great, and I always defer to them, and they basically take the demos over and really hammer it home. What I'm finding out is a lot of my potential clients, we're in 2 and 3 times in seeing the demos. Each demo, the doctors are kind of getting, they're narrowing down their questions or whatnot, and so we've got about 10 potentials right now that we're looking to sign here pretty soon. So.
Yeah, you've been out there planting the seed, and the harvest is about to hit, buddy. So I hope you're ready for it.
I tell you what, I owe it so much to, of course, my Lord and Savior, But I'm going to tell you, you folks at ABS, Patrick, Eric, Casey, all the folks here, I think I called and bugged everybody so much early on, but I had to follow the system. You can't reinvent this wheel. It's too easy to mess up. Just follow what you get to training. And I know I'm probably going off because, but you have to go to training and actually get they tell it pretty much. They explain it in detail what you need to do. Follow the system, the drip market, the whole gambit. The team, my team, I want to give them some props. The Ice Stormers, we still communicate pretty much. They're emailing daily, basically about what's working for them. So you have that part, that aspect of it as the team, but you have the ABS family who are there supporting you 100% throughout the process. And
Chris,
and
Chris, let me explain that. He's talking about his class members, the other people that were in his class in December. It was an ice storm when they hit here on Sunday, I think it was. So they call themselves the Ice Stormers. But yeah, that's a good point there. They stay in touch. They are part of your support group as well as ABS, of course. But you also mentioned that you've done several demos for some doctors. Look, guys, we don't give up on the first demo. If it takes a dozen demos for a doctor, we're going to do whatever it takes to get that doctor signed up. Now, Chris, what your first account was like a surgery center, is that right?
Yes, sir. It was for two providers at the surgery center. They do general surgery. Yes, sir.
And what kind of dollar volume, are they going to be doing in a year, for example?
Well, they do it for roughly around 3.5, close to 4 million a year.
Wow, 4 million a year. Well, that will make you some bucks there, won't it?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tell you what, it is, and well, that's that one. So there are others in that plaza that we're looking to sign as well. So it very well might be. There's got an oncology group. There's a couple other groups out there that pay high dividends. So definitely.
Now, you mentioned, Chris, that you had some demos done in different states all over the place. Can you explain how that's possible? You're not
Yes,
in all
sir.
those states.
But here again, that's where the training has come in with ABS. You guys showed us how to go out and get sales reps on the team. My wife and I, we've looked at Craigslist. You know, I had some key people in mind as well, and I just followed the system and got those team members on, and they're in their particular cities. Working with my company, and my company's name is Appointed Revenue Solutions, and they're out there bringing in clients. And so, even though I'm not physically there, Appointed Revenue Solutions is definitely in those different cities. So that's kind of how it's getting done.
Sounds like you're building quite an empire there, Chris. So we're very proud of you, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it, and I couldn't do it without you guys for sure. So.
Well, thank you. Eric, anything else you wanted to ask Chris?
You know, I did, but I thought maybe some questions might come in, but there's a couple of things I want to ask Chris. Chris, if you could explain to everybody that's on the call today about when we were doing the demos, what was the doctor's experience like when we were actually kind of going through that?
Well, everything has all been positive. The feedback I got, they love the customization of the system. The fact that when you're able to do the demos the way you do for that specific and these potential licensees will see that based on the different type of field that your potential provider is in, ABS will tailor the demo to that particular field. So if they're in Cairo, it'll be more or less geared toward Cairo. You might have a few PI reports and some other things that will be done. So they show how the system can be customized to them. Also, the doctors have loved how the practice management side has been, or the I claim, basically how quick their front office are able to check eligibility, how they're able to go through the system in a matter of seconds compared to what they've been doing. They are able to see really, it's light years compared to what they have been doing, and so it's a big plus for us. Hey, the clearinghouse, I mean, you name it, it is unbelievable, and it really gets us in the door. So it takes the selling part out of it. I mean, I haven't had to sell. My group hasn't had to sell anything. The system, the demos pretty much do it all. We've got to get the providers to the demos. So
didn't we tell you that in class? And that's what we tell everybody here is that we really are heavily involved with your marketing, so to say, because we do take that last step with you on doing those demos and kind of walking through that. And here is just a great experience and a testimony from Chris to see exactly what we do. Patrick, do you have any other questions you want to ask Chris about these demos that we do?
I just had one last question, Chris. We talked about our licensing fee, of course, going up somewhere in the near future. And so I think I've done the math, and I've decided that your license fee needs to be a whole lot higher than $25,000. So I'm just letting you
You
know
know,
that
Patrick.
I'm open to that. If you wanted
You
to
know
send
what,
me more
Patrick?
money.
I tell you what, you give me a year at it, buddy. Believe you me, we will go to the Bahamas and I'll buy you a steak dinner. You name
Okay, it's going to be a very expensive dinner.
it.
I'm bringing all my relatives.
Hey, for
No,
you guys, I tell you what, it's well worth it. Thank you so much.
well, thank you, Chris. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks so
Yes,
much,
sir.
Chris.
Bye
All
Yeah,
right.
bye.
take care.
Thanks
Bye
so
bye.
much.
He's a great
Well,
guy.
it's good to have someone on there, and I know that everybody, you know, people make out of this business what they want to, and people, Patrick, a lot of people ask us, how many people are successful in this business? You know, you've heard a successful guy not because ABS was great. It's because the people that actually come to training and they get it and they go out there and they just like what Chris said, just run the system as we teach in class.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own definition of success. Chris has a very good self image, you can tell just by listening to him. He's also got some high goals financially for him
Right.
and his family. And so, folks, that's part of what we train during the week is how to change the way you think about money and success. I do, it's not rah rah, it's just based on my book, but I do give a session that's based on what you can do to reposition yourself in your thinking and in your life to get you where you want to be financially. That's what the goal of getting into business for yourself is all about, right? Is getting financially free. And we're going to teach you how to do that better than any company that I know out there.
Before you get to that, Patrick, there's a couple of questions that have come on here. Um, Jane asked a question about what was the name of his company. The nice thing about this, Jane, is that everybody gets to name their company whatever they want to. And I believe his was called Appointed Revenue Solutions or Appointed Revenue
Yeah,
Services. I'm not
I
sure.
didn't catch it. I didn't catch it, and of course, I don't have everybody's company name memorized. But it is your
Right.
own company that you set up. That's right, and that's why it's not a franchise. You don't use American business systems in your marketing materials because it's you that's positioned out there. We'll let you tie in with us as the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies, but you don't have to use our name. You use your own, and we'll show you how to establish that and get it all set up. Yeah.
Then Brian's got a question here about the practice analysis, and I think we could probably dive into that just a little bit more too here towards the end. We got a few more minutes left,
Yeah.
but Brian's asking the first question. He's asking two questions here, Patrick. Who does the practice analysis for the doctors?
Well, that would be you, Brian. We're going to teach you, remember, during that week of training, how to go through that practice analysis, telling you every question that you'll be asking, covering that in detail, what kind of questions you might get about the questions, and answers, and what kind of answers you can expect, and why we ask the questions. So you will be the one that's actually going out and doing that practice analysis. What would you say, Eric? In general, it would take somebody 20 minutes maybe to get through that, 30 minutes if they ask a lot of questions?
Right, and it's what's built out of there that creates the value for you doing the billing. And I know that sometimes, again, when we show the demos to potential licensees, again, they always ask the question, well, if it's so easy, why wouldn't the doctor just do this? Again, it's one thing that we didn't show you here is when you get through with that information of the practice analysis, it gets dumped into a report. And that report actually shows in black and white what the doctor's losing money wise and then what they could gain by using you as the medical billing company.
Right.
And so we don't focus on technology. I know a lot of times where some people would focus upon the technology and that doctor would. We don't want the doctor to be in love with the technology. We want the doctor to fall in love with you because of what you are going to be able to provide that doctor, which is more capital.
Yeah, the focus is basically on what pain they have, pain in their practice right now as far as revenue, and then how you can provide the solution. Kind of like a doctor does when you walk in, right? They don't know what's wrong with you unless they examine you. We're going to examine the doctor's practice through this practice analysis, and that tells us where the pain is and we'll know, of course, and teach you how our services can provide the solution to that pain.
And then Brian's second question, Patrick, is the practice analysis done before or after the live demo?
Well, it can actually be done either time, but the way we train you to do it, Brian, is to get that practice analysis done first if you can, because that gives us a lot of information that we will use during the demo to direct that demo specifically to that particular doctor and his specialty. Now, there are doctors who will just say, I'm not interested in doing any kind of practice analysis. Let me just see the demo. I'm interested in that. That's fine. We'll do it either way.
Right. Yeah, and it's good to know that you can go get that practice analysis done beforehand, because here's what happens a lot of time, Patrick, is that the doctor will say, okay, well, how much for all this? This is where we, at that point, would turn that back over to you as a licensee and say, well, look, I'm going to turn this back over to you, Brian, so you can talk to the doctor about what you're wanting to have the arrangements for that. So at that point, with Brian, we kind of just turn it back over to you at that point.
Sure. Yeah, the last thing that the doctor might ask is, well, how do I get started? Well, that's where you take over because we're going to teach you how to have the proposal already done if you've done the practice analysis and the agreements that are ready for the doctor to sign right then. That's how easy it is.
Exactly. Joseph is asking the question about the licensing fee. You want to go ahead and talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, Joseph, we go into detail on our website and our virtual brochure about what the license fee covers. It's kind of like finding out that a luxury car costs $150,000 and you're not sure why, because the one you have costs $30,000 and it has 4 wheels. Our licensing fee is $25,000. Well, $10 short of that. But we priced our licensing fee where it's at for a reason. And if you'd like to know why it is what it is, we cover that in detail, like I said, on the website itself. And if you click one of the orange buttons and fill out the little quick form, we'll take you to our virtual brochure where we go through a lot of videos, webinar demonstrations, testimonials, and things like that will show you that this is a very low investment. Guys, for starting your own business nowadays, you can spend $25,000 just developing the marketing materials that we've developed. But to have all that we provide for our licensees, lifetime support, for example, that is, once you're a licensee of ABS, you never have to pay us another dime. Everything is provided to you: weekly webinars, ongoing training, support. All of that is at no cost whatsoever for the life of your business. That's unheard of in today's world. And we do that because, again, of the way we structured the business model, so that we do make a few pennies on each one of those transactions. But you don't pay that to us. Our technology partners who provide some of the technology for our services, they're the ones that give us a rebate at the end of the month on the volume of business that we bring to them. So I know that was a long way around to tell you what the price was, but you can learn why it is $25,000 by going through our virtual brochure.
Yeah, and I was about to kind of even introduce this, but Brian's kind of coming back and asking, are there any other fees other than the licensing fee going back to ABS?
No. That's the simple answer. Folks, you will never, ever pay us another dime. Now, remember, it's our technology partners that will pay us some on the back end. Why do we do that? Well, let me tell you, first of all, at one point, we didn't provide lifetime support. It was like for the first year. Then we extended it to 2 years, and I think we went to 3 at some point, Eric. I forget.
Right.
But at one point, we sat down as a company and said, look, why would we ever stop supporting somebody if they are actually bringing us business and transactions, since we make money on that? So we've just built into our model continual support and training for our licensees. When we do a webinar like this, for example, we do these for our licensees, of course, on a regular basis, not these type, but ones that are really nitty-gritty, detailed training. We do those for all of the licensees at one time, so it doesn't really cost us that much money to be able to do that. But those license fees that we get from people up front is what funds and fuels the company on an ongoing basis to continue to give us what we need to train our licensees and keep them up to date on everything.
Yeah, a lot of people do ask, well, wow, how does ABS make money if all they're getting is the $24,990 at the front and no franchise fees or royalty fees? And that's how we, and that's why we will continue to do as many demos for you as a licensee and support you in those areas of getting those clients. I mean, I think we kind of heard that with Chris here just a moment ago. I mean, he literally has folks out there, whether they're sales reps or whether they're just friends or just business relationships that he has with other folks.
Right.
He's right in the middle of the United States, right in Arkansas, and he's got folks. He's got this word out to everybody, and we'll do whatever it takes to help him get more clients.
And that's easy, folks, because we're not a franchise. We don't have any territorial restrictions. You can build this as big as you want to. You can do billing for doctors anywhere in the United States, as long as they're on the United States, billing systems. That's all it needs to be for you to have them as clients. So don't worry about it. You can build this as big as you want to get it.
All right. Well, Patrick, looks like that's might be all the questions for now, but let's kind of talk about the 100% money back guarantee, and then let's talk about if there are any seats left there in the April training. So, again, let's talk about your money back guarantee here. With ABS.
Well, it's exactly what you see here on the screen, folks. In the agreement that you sign with us, this is exactly what it says. We've taken it out of the agreement so you can see that there are no weasel words. We're not trying to get you. You don't have to have a reason. At the end of our training, if you've sat through our entire training week and just don't think that this is right for you for any reason, maybe your wife calls during the week and says, honey, I just found out we're not going to have one baby, we're going to have triplets. You could ask for your money back at the end of the week. We don't care what the reason is, because to be honest with you folks, we don't need your license fee. What we need is for you to go out and build your business and be successful. That's what our model is built on. So I think this has happened, Eric, 3 times in our 20 years, so we don't really worry about it, but it does give people, it's the only way I knew to help people have an assurance that they could, even though they may not wrap their brain around everything that we tell them before they come to the training, during that week, they'll know. You'll know by probably Wednesday afternoon whether this is really for you or not. So just relax, enjoy the week, learn as much as you can, and you'll see that it's worth a whole lot more than what we're asking for on the license fee right now. That may go up soon.
Well, let's talk about April's training. I mean, it really is just a week and a half away, and it's not too late to get into the class. We've kind of put up here that we had 5 seats